Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. We're ready for the session. Please demand this opening prayer, Sanjay Chuzo.
Okay. So page 1, please. Refuge and Bodhicitta. Sanjay
So this morning we have done the ceremony, how to cultivate aspiration bodhicitta, and then practice bodhicitta, it's called action bodhicitta. So these are the most precious teachings that Buddha gave. And one of the very important texts written by Teacher Sun said, all Dhammasthati practice is not just only for this life. I said, not only, means not, of course we take care of this life, but all the effort we are making is not just only focused on this life, success and happiness. Neither next life to achieve the higher realms, continue to rebuild the human life under guardians. Also not just only for individual liberations, Sharavakas and Buddhas. The sole purpose of this practicing of the Bodhicitta to achieve the complete enlightenment. So to achieve the enlightenment, the Buddhahood, the indispensable cause is the Bodhicitta, to cultivate Bodhicitta. So when we cultivate Bodhicitta and practice that, and generally all the happiness, peace that exists in the world, we just achieve ourselves. And ultimately, the total peace and happiness. So this is why we are making this our effort. It may take time, but we will continue, gradually we will make it happen. So that's how he is here in this booklet mentioned, all the source of all happiness and joy for oneself and all sentient beings is loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. So that kind of peace and happiness doesn't come without cause, or from wrong cause, or from incomplete cause. Complete cause is this one here. So this is the basic disposition of the cause and result. This way of practicing loving kindness, compassion, first establish well. So how I can achieve total peace and happiness? How I can free from all the total suffering? So this is the path we take. So because of that, the result of peace and happiness depend on these causes and conditions. So dependent relations, how they're connected to this. So relation to this, in bodhicitta, then we aspire to attain Buddhahood, and then in the action of the bodhicitta, what we aspire to attain Buddhahood and to achieve the Buddhahood, the expression, the action bodhicitta, or sometimes called engagement bodhicitta. So that is practice of 6 paramitas. Practice of generosity first. Generosity is easier to practice because of that it's just the first. People can do this easily, more easily. Giving things, and not just only giving wealth, but giving fearlessness and supporting, helping others. All this depends on the practice of generosity. And just some people have fear of the dying, fear of taken by the river, fear, trapped in the earthquake, so helping protecting their life from their fear is called giving fearlessness. And then giving the Dharma teachings, one of the best gift, Dharma teaching. It gives the wisdom to know the cause, how to free from suffering. Wisdom that gives you opportunity to gather all the good cause and peace and happiness, you see. So giving practice is very profound and very wide arrangement there. And then the next, you see, practice of the moral ethics. As I mentioned, is not just some kind of strict rule. No, you have to do this, you don't have to do this. Here it means avoiding all the cause of suffering and engaging into the cause for the enlightenment. What are those to be practiced? What are those to avoid the cause of suffering? So, understanding that what Buddha is prescribed, and like the doctor prescribed medicine when patient goes to the doctor, so you are having this problem, so I prescribe you this. So Buddha prescribed all the possibilities of from now until one achieves enlightenment, all the practices what to do, Buddha prescribed. Then next one is called proscribed. Proscribed. You know that word? P-R-O. Proscribed. You don't know?
Is it like to predict the future?
No, proscribed.
Proscribed.
Yeah, proscribed.
Proscribed.
Yeah, P-R-O, S, I think, proscribed, C-R-I-B-E,
Yes.
or prescription. Okay.
Also like after.
Proscribed means what to avoid. Okay. It's very good word to remember the truth. What's prescribed? Okay, what are the prescription? Okay. The prescription for the peace in the samsara, well-weather the samsara, and how to free from samsara, attain to complete enlightenment. What Buddha has prescribed, all the things what to do. And then Buddha prescribed not to do, to fall into the lower realms, okay? To free from all the cause of suffering. Make sense?
Yes.
This is very important. These two words, prescription and proscribed. Proscription. Yeah. And that is called moral ethics. So keeping those, just for the example's mission, the 5%. But that prescribed 5% to free from all the danger of this suffering. See, as I have mentioned briefly, those who ignore these 5% and then indulge all the society, just say, I'm free, what to do, Of course you're free, But when you come to suffering, not so much free. So, sometimes you have to be careful about your freedom, What to follow, what not to follow, In our confused mind, very confused mind, and then indulge all this, our emotional, just we follow that. Sometimes we have to pay a high price, and suffering comes. So what to do? That's there's a lot of suffering there. You see, it's very sad. When they suffer, then you see, you feel so empty. But we created the cause. So beforehand, we understand the cause of those. So, as that I mentioned, we should understand the prescription of the Buddha's teaching to avoid the cause of suffering. Some are very much calm, fine, subtle. In our mind, it doesn't make much sense. So why you do this? Why we cannot do this? No. And then, because we don't have the wisdom to penetrate the nature, what I said, then you said, this is, I don't accept this. So of course it is individual's choice. But when we going through a lot of suffering, very difficult, painful, the individual themselves, and then people who are around them. So when one has very good discipline, clear mind, doing right things, has always less problem, less confusion. So that's why this Buddha's wisdom is always with that kind of demarcation. What are the causes of suffering? What are the causes of peace and happiness? Made a very clear demarcation. It's not something religious belief, Yeah, you have to follow this because I said so. It's not that. So this practice is called moral ethics. In Sanskrit, it's called Shila. Shila is called fresh, cool, meaning in the hot weather, this wind blows, you feel fresh, cool. That kind of when you keep this moral ethics, your mind is clear, precise. So then patience, you see, practice of patience. Initially, the patience is a little, this has a connotation of some kind of weakness. Be patient. Okay, wasting your time, Please be patient with me. Says, don't be upset. But it's okay to waste your time. So here, patience means fearlessness. Anger, mental anger, those pops up when there's a fear. Milarepa said, when you are free from the fear, that's called the patience. Saname Pauruna, Chipachama Waname. Namniteme Pauruna, Strimchawa Waname. Dala Meta Parunas, Metapa. When there's no fear, then there's patience. The fear, there are many fears. We have something, if I do this, maybe I cannot do this. There's some fear. I cannot engage this. I cannot go to retreat so long. See, the fear, you see. If I go retreat by myself, if I cannot do it, there's a fear. There's a lot of fear relation with suffering, fear relation with people, fear relation with the Dharma teachings. So we have to understand in the samsara, suffering will come. It's just reality, nature. But we have to practice with bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion. Then say, there's nothing to fear. I just go forward. Suffering, then just meditate, you see. As long as I'm in the samsara, the suffering is bound to come. So I cannot hesitate to challenge that. I cannot escape to free from that, not to face that. Just for example, getting sickness. We get sick somehow, sooner or later. Then finally we die. And people have a lot of fear about the death. It's clear. Even though they don't believe next life, but they have a fear when they're dying, before the death. It's kind of, fear is kind of mysterious. What will happen? You don't know. It's kind of very mysterious. Something, there's some kind of fall down from the huge rocky mountain, precipice. So do things when you have the practice of the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, then practice the impermanence. Impermanence is always just face to face. And because of that, everything is just manifestation. They come and go. So practice the rules. And then you see everything's interdependent. Everything's interconnected. Then there comes the power, mental courage, fearlessness, you see. That's what Dharma practice is about. And especially some individuals who create obstacles, who hate you during those times, everything's just the emanation. You know what means emanation? Emanate. So everything is emanation. This cup of water is emanation. Depends on many causes and conditions. All are just manifest causes and conditions. You see. The magic show, you see, we think magic show is unreal. It's because it's a magical show. But still, it's emanation of many causes and conditions, you see. In the dream, you have just dream. The dream, when you wake up, I had a dream. But just before you wake up, you dream climbing on the beautiful mountain. And suddenly you wake up. In that moment, between that very short moment, where is that mountain that you are climbing? You see, where is that now? This way gone, where? So everything's like a dream, you see. So my very good friend of mine, just, who I relied, very good friendship, suddenly turned into something where that being a goodness just changed. Suddenly changed. Unbelievable, you say, we say, it's unbelievable. I can't believe that happened, You see, what happened that you just carefully investigate. It's called illusion. just being so good has been illusion. It's not there. So just look at these, understand these things, free from fear. Everything's just a manifestation. Manifestation causes a condition. The person who's so close to you, being such a reliable person, for many years, suddenly changed. Why? Caution them. Because many causes, conditions going through that person's mind. That person also doesn't want to be changed that way, want to be continue. But when things happens without your control, it just happens. You see, it's called illusion in nature. Everything's independent. There's no any independent. Everything's interdependent. That's called, everything's so interdependent. So you do things without expectation, without attachment. That's why when things goes well and we are so attached to that, and suddenly things change, and that attachment brings a lot of suffering. It breaks your heart, because you have such a strong expectation, and it breaks that expectation, and then suffering comes so much. Make sense? It's all the life you see. Resignation is not a Buddhism, it is something, the reality function of the samsara. That's what it's called, 8 worldly concern, then you should learn the 8 worldly concern. It's very profound. Meditate on these, reflect on these, and then if you practice these things, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, and everything's just manifestation. There comes the meaning of the emptiness, you see. Everything is manifestation, illusion in nature. We are not making illusion, but we are having a hard time to understand what means illusion. How everything functions within the dimension of the illusion, and we don't have precise wisdom to capture that, You see, still we're grasping, fixated, and that's suffering comes from there. So this is the wisdom of the Buddha. Just the manifestation, everything's, reflection. Generally says that everything that we are living is a reflection of our karma in our life. What is happening in your life is reflection of your karma. And then it depends how you reflect your mind on that karma. You see, we should understand the truth. These two are very important. First, like just example like this building. This hall is the reflection of the art of the people's work. We made such karma to be here. We see things here. It's a reflection of that our collection of all the effort and things met. Now, with that, the mind, how you perceive, you feel more comfortable, not comfortable, how you feel is all mental reflection. You see, some people may feel so uncomfortable, I'm not so comfortable. Some people may feel very comfortable, very good. So every individual has our own reflection, because our mind. In the mathematical avatara, scientific dimension, Chubok Dula, Yeta Always, there's different people seeing that, projecting that. How do the hell beings will perceive like a burning liquid, a metal burning liquid. Well, it's totally nothing but cause of suffering, burning. The Holy Ghost will project as a pus, blood of pus, some unclean, disgusting. And animals that don't know what water is, but there's just something to drink. And we human beings, we say this is water. And then the God realm, they will perceive as a ambrosia. Even though it's the same one cup of water, different individuals, they can project differently. It's called reflection of the mind. No. We as a human beings who have some water say, oh, this is very good water, you can drink, no problem, all these things. And others say, no, it's not so good for your stomach, no, this, a lot of descriptions, It's all how you habituate it, project it. So that's what the mind is that powerful and how it makes. So we learn that practice the patience. Very precious teaching. That perseverance is mentioned. Perseverance is the joyous apple. You follow the path joyfully this way. Yeah, Dharma is the one who really helped my life. It's not just chanting, it's not just chanting, just meditating. Shamatha itself, with shamatha, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, and these three training are so precious in the individual's life, in the society. And from there comes elevation shamatha. Calm your body, mind, calm your mind, relax your mind. See, it's a strength of the mind. And there comes next, the sixth, wisdom of awareness, special insight. See, they all work together. Sometimes we ignore all the other rest. Say, can you give me a Mahamudra teaching? Can you give me a Dzogchen teaching, This you see. And in the Shantidevas text, you see this chapter 9, at the beginning, you see the first verse. You like it, come there, you two be sure to the souls. The children to me, that sure to be sure, yes. Is all the 5 branches: generosity, moral ethics, patience, perseverance, samadhi. These all are for the purpose of the realization of the emptiness. When we have all the rest of the 5, the branches, and the realization of emptiness makes such a powerful, brings such great benefit. That's why this morning when we cultivate bodhicitta, yesterday I tried to go through step by step, in impermanence, suffering of samsara, causality. This is so important. These 5 hours. Especially these 5 aggregates, this body basically, how this is how impermanent, reflect on. And then how much we suffer from this body. In the samsara, our body, it's the center of the suffering. We need between this because the body. We need to go to lunch because the body. You know? We need some drink because the body. We need TV because the body. You know? We need a car because the body. You see? We need smartphone because of the body. So it's all go on like this, you know. Then, you know, all these things you see. Then finally, we age because the body, the mind, mental afflictions, they don't age. Our body get older and older, isn't it? And our mental afflictions, they always stay fresh. Only Dharma can age these mental afflictions. Otherwise, no. Then our bodies become so weak, it got sick, and the mental afflictions are more fresh, you know, and makes you crazy. You know? Then finally we die because the body now cannot function enough. The mind goes. So these five aggregate look at this, you know, how this we just have to see this all reality nature. You understand this all, roughly, get the sense. And then cultivation of this loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and go through, study, practice. And you see, when the mind, first you went through a lot of difficulties. And after this, when you got all the lessons, and then cultivate loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, your body feels very relaxed. Your mind feels very peaceful. See? It heals mind. So the best healing of the mind is practice of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. Sometimes mind is traumatized. Body can heal more easily, but mind is difficult to heal. It takes longer time to heal the mind. See, the so-called psychologists, people explain you more. Mind, healing the mind is more difficult. When the mind is traumatized, difficult to heal. But this practice of loving kindness, compassion, and then how to forgive. We can't forgive. And not feeling of guilty. Or sometimes guilty makes our mind very difficult. So for those to heal that loving kindness, compassion, so effective. And then you see, with meditation, in the Bodhicitta or Dharamesha, Shene Rakdom Temple, Hadung is called total karma abiding state of the mind. Shene Rakdom Temple, synchronized by this special insight. And with the combination of this karma abiding special insight, it totally uproots the existence of the mental afflictions. See? So in order to have that successful, first you go to the state, understanding of impermanence. Okay. Suffering of samsara. Those the inexorable karmic causations. One those get understood this, and when you follow this path, then Dharma becomes so effective. So that's why we need the sixth paramita. So to give rise to the sixth paramita, special insight, we need all the support from the rest of the five virtues of generosity, moral ethics, patience, all this need. Then you see, Dharma is the one. The Buddha's wisdom gives us full opportunity to uproot all the cause of suffering. It's there. So you go through these practices. Then next, you see verse 3. So all phenomena are discursive thoughts. And discursive thoughts means solely mind. Mind as it is premortally unborn, like the sky, free from boundaries, and a center. So this is in the show where we touch some little bit, all this protect of the mind. We think so much creating all these modern technologies of protect of the mind. See, it's clear. But since mind is such a profound and you see, has no color to see, no shape, no matter to touch. It's very abstract subject, and ambiguous, and very contradictory, and very complicated subject, So cannot find from the machine, no matter how sophisticated machine we have. This machine, all the machines, these telescopes, all these things are matter. The mind is consciousness, like wind, air, like space. Look at this space, you try to bring space in your machine. Can you bring space in the machine? Can you measure space in the machine? Cannot. Likewise, the mind cannot measure in the machine. I just get simple explanation. The brain is the office of the mind, and the heart is the home of the mind. Just much I think so. You get to understand a little bit, But mind is such a complex. So that's why Dharma teachings are so important to go step by step, you see. And man, experience, you see. Then you see, it makes sense. You really know how to make effort to learn, to understand meaning of that, And as the Siddhartha went through all the training, until he was 29, he went through all the training of the samsara, learning everything that exists. Then after 29, he went to 6 years retreat, and you see all the training that exists. So that you got the support of all those. But thereafter got the complete course to free from samsara. So finally, then he went to Bodhgaya especially, Then, so from there, with these three training expedition, he fully revealed, or just completely free from all boundaries. Everything becomes obvious. So that teaching, that through this we learn the mind is calm. All these things are protect of the mind. Then you see, also, where's the mind? You can see. You can see only through this karma-vati, samadhi meditation, special insight through that. And its nature is nowhere you can find. It's called unknown. There's no beginning. There's no beginning of the mind. There's no end of the mind. You cannot find where this exists. I'm sure sometimes you have heard of, can you give me a repeat instruction at the nature of the mind? Have you heard of that? I'm sure you have heard of it. And I'm sure some of you have received as well. How it looks like when you receive that. Said, can you wish for a repeat of instruction? You can find anywhere, you know. It manifests, it dissolves. Dissolves, it manifests. Just, it's illusory. Maybe it's okay. Milarepa had such a great Dakini disciple, Nyama Petarbu. Then first when she met Milarepa, then she asked a lot of questions, you know, back and forth, went back and forth. And then at the end she was so pleased meeting Milarepa. She was very smart, asking tough questions, really tough questions, you know. And Milarepa answered all tough questions. And at the end, she totally bowed down to him. And she was totally, you know, decided to practice Dharma. So then, after training all this, then Milarepa said, now you go to retreat. He said, take the example, the mountain of your mind, very stable, unmoving. So get good shamatha. Then he said, take the example of the space, free from boundaries, meditate. Take the example of the sun and moon, totally luminosity, clear and precise. And take the example of the waves of the ocean, you know, the waves in the oceans, meditate. And then set your mind, it's a mountain, it's a no moving here. Look back to your mind, free from all this birth and unceasing, free from the unceasing japa, free from the birth and the death. So then she went to retreat. After about a month, then she came, and then she, can I see you? Can I tell you some of my experience? And I said, yes, you may come. Then she said, yes, as you have instructed me, I meditated, my mind is like the mountain without moving. What should I do when there grow a lot of forests, trees? Yes, I have meditated, mine is like the space. But what should I do when the cloud comes in the sky? How I can handle? And then she said, yes, I meditated my mind like the ocean. Not wave that time, no wave, just meditate like ocean. Yes, I did meditation like the ocean, but what should I do? How to handle when the wave comes? I meditated like this, the clear like the sun and moon. But how should I do? How to handle it when the cloud comes? I meditated my mind free from this birth and ceasing, unceasing, birth and ceasing. It's free from birth and unceasing, yes. Free from birth and ceasing. Yes. So Melanie was so pleased. He said, you are so well done. Wonderful. Now you go meditate. The leaves, the trees, comes from the mountain, grows from the mountain, dissolves into the mountain. You should learn how to handle that. There's nothing to push, chase. If you meditated your mind like this space, the clouds are manifestation of the space. They come from the space, dissolve into the space. Then if you started the meditation of the like the sun and moon, luminosity, the eclipse, I mentioned eclipses. There's also just manifest, dissolve, it all just come. If you have meditated your mind like as ocean, the waves, the manifestation, the ocean comes from the ocean, dissolve into the ocean. And when you meditate your mind, free from rising, ceasing thoughts of this. It's all the mind itself. So, Masindul Sutta, so mind itself, there's no birth, there's no death. It's free from all as it is. So you see, it's very beautiful, very simple, but it's such a beautiful analogy. So these all, we make all this new internet, all this that manifests from the mind, dissolve into emptiness. Just take it that easy. As a practitioner, just meditate. The mind, the thoughts are countless. You cannot stop your thinking. Sometimes you may feel, I should stop. my thinking. Nobody can stop thinking. If you try to stop forcefully thinking, you may become crazy. You go to the nuts, So, what is you have to handle very carefully this way. It's all turned into loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. Relax the mind. Everything is just illusory nature, just manifestation, like a mirage. To see the mirage, you can see mirage is there, like running river, water. Like in the pit, big road. From distance you can see there's maybe in the hot weather you feel you just happen maybe a lot of rain, It's a mirage. Or in the desert you can see the real mirage. Or in the desert you see distance, you see, there's maybe big rivers going. A lot of wild animals are confused that as a river. When they're thirsty, they chase the mirage. They die because there's no real water. So we in the world are chasing the mirage of all these technologies. Then people are suffering. So that's why we should look to our mind. Everything. All I have is my mind, the jewel treasury. So that's what is now all this talking about. Born, unborn, mind as it is, means free from contrive, is primordial, unknown. Generally, primordially, nature itself is unborn. Look at our thoughts, where the thoughts are coming. Look at their thoughts. It's born, the birth of the thought itself, the nature itself is unborn. But we have to relax that in the shamatha transmission. Calm my mind, relax the mind. We cannot push the thought, chase the thought away. Let it dissolve there. So Karmapa was one of the first teachers in Tibet who taught these teachings so skillfully. There was one very devoted student who was so gifted in the scholarship, but he has such strong devotion to Karmapa. And he totally did submission. Whatever Karmapa says, there's no any doubt. He sees Karmapa as the Buddha. So he was in the retreat, meditating. One day, his father was killed by one man before. So one day Karmapa brought that man who killed his father, brought to his meditation cave. And suddenly he manifested such anger. This is the killer of my father. There's no fear to retaliate. At that moment, Kambupa look at your mind, he said. Kambupa said, sit here. And he sat there. Look at your mind. Where's the anger? Where is this coming from? Because your father died years ago, killed by this man. Now, see, this is now. And as Kambupa instructed, very skillfully, according what he needs, and at that moment, they say, he looked and totally realized that anger was unborn, it's born from nowhere. It's just habit of this resentment. It's nowhere exists. You see, at that moment he was enlightened. It's how precious teaching, you see. So he totally persecuted that mental afflictions. Enlightened. It's how precious that is, you see. But especially we need all the supports. If we don't have all the rest of the supports, it's just intellectual. When it's intellectual, it doesn't do anything. You continue your anger. You may intellectually understand, oh yes, I just say, okay, I know, yeah, no. But then when you're in your real life, still you have frustration. Still we have anger, resentment. Because we didn't have enough support for that. So we should understand that more. So that's how Dharma is beautiful. And that his disciple was totally free from samsara. So that's how Kambupa becomes so famous. And his lineage becomes so successful. So many followed him. Such a great philosophy, So that's how we also get all this understanding. Then you feel, my life has been so meaningful. I'm so fortunate. I made effort. He said, it has been worthwhile. I made effort. See. So through this, this is mentioned. Now you go step by step. If you have studied before Buddhist philosophies, there are a lot of now like Madhyamika Avatara, so forth, Buddhist Avatara, there are so many other books, and Abhisamaya Alankara, those, and Uttara Tantra. Have you read, anybody read Uttara Tantra? You have read the Uttara Tantra, so those are some measure. Then you understand the 5 parts, 10 bhumis. So through this you go step by step, you say. From the 10th bhumi, in the first bhumi, you realize unborn So some may you think this is enough. No. 10th bhumi, first you have to go, second, third, fourth, all to 10th bhumi, and then you become Buddha, step by step. This is in this stanza. It's only 4 lines, but it contains some profound meaning here. Okay? And then one becomes the Buddha. The next one is said here. From the natural radiance of the Dharmakaya, free from proliferation, the power of the union of wisdom and compassion spontaneously arises within the dimension of the noble, the awakened activities are performed for the benefit of beings to whatever way they are tamed. Now, once you become Buddha, means you achieve the Dharmakaya, the total Buddhahood, Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya, you can see physically. This is perfection state of the mind. Free from all the boundaries, like the space. You cannot see the space. Can you see the space? You cannot see the space, isn't it? The space is the foundation of all these planets, galaxies, stars, everything functions within the space. Without space, nothing can function. They manifest from the space, they dissolve into the space. Okay? So like that. In our mind, as I mentioned, unborn mind is the foundation of all the birth of the mind, all the thoughts. In the Uttara Tantra mentioned, you see, first from the space, there's wind. Can't you say, indestructible wind that holds the ocean. From the ocean then manifests this earth. The ground, first you say ocean, yes. Then this earth. So then all the rest, manifest, see. So space is the foundation of all. They manifest, all this planet manifest from this space, but step by step. So the mind is the foundation from the clarity Buddha nature mind. All these mental afflictions, then without realizing that our nature of the mind manifests. And there comes the 5 skandha, 18 elements, 12 ayatanas, all just manifest. And then when this all dissolves, it dissolves into the emptiness. You see, our body, our body, the gross body is there, but when you die, there's an experience. First, dissolving the 4 elements. First, the earth element dissolves into the water element. The water element dissolves into the fire elements. The fire element dissolves into the wind element. The wind element dissolves into space of the mind, step by step. And then the dying person cannot see, cannot hear. And then from there, mind goes very subtle. See, it's called inner experience there. Outer these things I cannot receive. From the inner of the mind, then experience of what? White increasing field, white appearance come, and then red increasing fields, and then darkness. All becomes more subtle and subtle and subtle. Then at the end, when the breath stops, the mind in the self is called luminosity. So great practitioners, when go through this whole experience, they don't lose all the experience. Always in the meditative state. So that's what's we need such powerful meditation. Then you can see all the step by step. And when you go to the luminosity, then they see it. That's the ultimate what touches the Buddha nature. And when you recognize that, meditate on that, then there is called enlightenment. Possibility of the enlightenment. See? But you need such a powerful meditation. That's why I say, from all the 6 parameters, you need all the support. And when you achieve that state, it's Dhammakaya achieved. Okay. From outside explanation of this whole, and inside how this goes to the mind or this. And when all the confusions in the 4 Dhammas of Kapapa, have you heard of 4 Dhammas of Kapapa? Master Kapapa, it's just a small, simple prayer he formed. May my mind follow into the Dharma. All the Dharma will follow into the Dharma. Then that mind may follow into the Dharma may follow into the path. Cholamdudawa. Amtavasava. Then the path may dispel all the confusions. And then the 4th one said, may dawn the confusion as the wisdom. Two is the choice, you see. These all are connected to each other. When you study them, practice them, this is the Dharma that you have to study, you have to practice. This is the Dharma, the Buddha's wisdom. Okay. All the rest are just entertainment. Okay. There are a lot of entertainments, But these are the essence of the Dharma teaching. You follow. If you are interested, you study them, put into practice this. I'm just sharing. Then you see, it's totally free from the suffering, cause of suffering. That's called cessation. Cease to exist, the cause of suffering. Cease to exist, the suffering itself. It's called cessation. In Tibetan, go. Cease to exist. Nirodha in Sanskrit is called Nirodha. See? So that's why all the samsaric things are just nothing but illusion. No essence. No matter how they play, it's a beautiful thing, it's magnificent. There are a lot of, medias, social medias, news, is wonderful, that. These are nothing but garbage. When you come to this point, somebody may say, oh, they're so beautiful things, oh, they're so wonderful, Okay, so from Buddha Dharmakaya to benefit sentient beings, Buddha manifests as a Sambhogakaya. Sambhogakaya is called pure form. Those great Bodhisattvas who had higher levels, like say 8, 9, 10 bhumis, or the Bodhisattvas who has that capacity, and therefore for them, Buddha manifests as the Sambhogakaya. In that state, the Buddha gives teachings to those Bodhisattvas to become Buddha. And for us, ordinary beings, Buddha manifests as the Nirmanakaya, the emanation body. There are also many different levels. The spring Nirmanakaya, Chogujugu, and there's then regular lot of different types of Nirmanakaya. Sometimes also Buddha manifests as the animals with the new, or sometimes like a bridge, tree. That's what it's mentioned here. Anything is possible. See, within the dimension of the knowable, the awakened activities are performed for the benefit of beings in whatever way there are to help the mind. Inconceivable, but it's interdependent. Not just Buddha alone, not just we alone, all also interdependent, interconnected. Sometimes we ask, if Buddha has that kind of ability, why not he solve all the problems, This mission is not Buddha alone. We need also a condition to receive these blessings or activities. And so through this, now that's the verse 4. Verse 5 is one's own mind is set in the state of bliss. By mindfulness, there's three things: mindfulness, alertness, and heedfulness. In the mandala of ultimate bodhicitta, within the non-referential sphere, the root of virtue is dedicated. Amaho. So you see, when you meditate, it's such a great. Anytime when you meditate, you need mindfulness, alertness, and you see things precisely, and heedfulness is the quality of the meditation. These three will help us to guide our mind to go direct. Because you have studied, first you see, you took the Bodhisattva's vow, means you cultivated bodhicitta. In the Shantideva's text, first you see the Payut, he explained all about the heedfulness. Yes, the heedfulness. You read this chapter 3, chapter 4. You read whole chapter 4 about the heedfulness. The Shantideva's text. Fine. And then next, chapter 5, you will find the mindfulness and alertness. How to reflect your mind, how to sustain your mind, always in the middle to do things right. And every time meditation you do, then you dedicate. As I mentioned this morning, your dedication to not just for this life, success, but to achieve ultimate state of enlightenment. There's an example of that. So before we make break, if you want to grow corn, then the farmer knows how to grow the corn. So the farmer prepare all the necessary to grow the corn and let the corn grow, rear the corn itself. All the leaves, trunk of the corn will come by itself. Or like say you grow apple, let's have a good harvest of apple. I'll focus the apple, not the apple seed flower, isn't it? Not the purpose of the leaves of the apple, not the trunk of the apple tree, but it's real apple fruit, isn't it? So likewise, our focus is enlightenment, Buddhahood. So when the apple is real, comes fruit, fruit, all the rest come by itself. Likewise, when we fully focus on the enlightenment, all the other peace and happiness comes by itself. So that's why dedication, that we dedicate to achieve complete enlightenment, Buddhahood. Okay? Shall we make short break? Om Bhaja Sadhu Samaya, Namo Bharaya, Sudukaya Membawa, Sudukaya Anuraga Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Mepraya, Sarva Sudame, Chetan Shriya Guru Sarva Tata Tata Bhadrama Memodambar Zembawa Ma Samaya Sadhu. Please make a short break. Om Bhaja Sadhu Samaya, Namo Bharaya, Tucson Membawa, Sudukaya Membawa, Sudukaya Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Mepraya, Sarva Karma Sudame, Chetan Shriya Guru Sarva Tata Tata Bhadrama Memodambar Zembawa Ma Samaya Sadhu. Om Bhaja Sadhu Samaya, Namo Bharaya, Sudukaya Membawa, Sudukaya Membawa, Anurata Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Mepraya, Sarva Karma Sudame, Chetan Shriya Guru Sarva Tata Tata Bhadrama Memodambar Zembawa Ma Samaya Sadhu. Kirtan Dedo Membawa, Sudukaya Membawa, Sudukaya Membawa, Anurati Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Mepraya, Sarva Karma Sudame, Chetan Shriya Guru Sarva Tata Tata Bhadrama Memodambar Zembawa Ma Samaya Sadhu. So generally so far we now just done. We did this in a few days. I think it's very productive. And before I forget, I'm sharing one information. Our group here, Dhammaseto, has been here quite some time. especially since 1993. This center has been started. So in between, a little up and down, a little bit up and down. Yes. And we have one very good couple who graduated from Dehradun, India, from the college. His name is Khenchen Konchog Gyaltshen. You can say Khenchen, I guess, but of course you can communicate with him, So he has been in Rochester, New York, maybe 5-6 years, and when that he went to English language special, and he studied English quite good, especially all the grammars. So, but I cannot say complete, you can communicate with him. So I thought, since he graduated from the college, he studied basically all the major Buddhist teaching, so like the Abhidharma, Sutra, Vinaya, all those, and of course jewel ornamental preparation, and I'm sure he studied Kongji, presentation, and many other things. And he's very good writing, composing, what do you call that, composition. Sometimes he writes very beautiful, composing beautiful poems. So I thought maybe if you can, it's almost my just idea. He's born in Tibet area where Cambodia they are not so, maybe not so far each other, the same area. So if you invite him and then some special Dharma texts, if you study occasionally, whether from Zoom or invite here, you can communicate, at your convenience. See, so this, I like to come, but sometimes now I'm getting old, so how long I can come, See, so if you have some new teachers, it's good, communicate, get used to it, and so that's I just want to share. And then if you have any Dhamma questions, we can relax and ask the questions. And if you need any discussions about this, we can do that as well. And before I forget one from this, there are a lot of other teachings, but one important point is, as we took people to Satnam's vow, one important thing is not to give up anybody from your heart. Relation all the sentient beings. Of course, you will not give up those who are our friends, who support us. Neither will not give up those neutrals who don't know why we should give up. We keep them in our prayers, wish them. Sometimes there's danger. Some individuals comes, hate you, bring you all the problems, makes you miserable. And so I can't help, So this is this, I cannot help. This individual is so bad, some, which is not here in this booklet, this prayer booklet we don't have. There's one prayer. In Tibet it's got Dhamma, Dhamma, Chebe, Dhamma, Chebe, King, Tabakan, Taje, Chebana, Pato, Chubra, Cheba, Dham, this prayer. All the sentient beings, all the mother sentient beings, including those who hate me, enemies, those who hate me, obstacles, those who harm me, who create obstacles in my enlightenment. And all sentient beings have happiness, free from suffering, and certainly, I will establish them in the enlightenment. I think this prayer is very good. You try to get that, So, at the moment that individual, we cannot help directly, but never give up on the heart. Let that person have all peace and happiness. Let that person free from all the suffering. And there should be attain enlightenment, including appreciation, mother sentient beings. This is very important. Keep it in mind. Something is painful in your heart. Just makes me such a miserable, So this is how precious Buddha's teaching is. So look at the Buddha, he taught that, there's some, even in the Buddha's time, there's somebody always challenged Buddha, trying to defeat Buddha. And he never gives up. Always support those. So when you look at those are such marvelous things. It's taming, it's basically a taming our mind, tame our mind, purify our mind. It's very hard, not easy. That's the way how we should follow. And when our mind becomes very gentle, soft, but at the same time, courage is measureless. It's not showing weakness. Some people say it's so weak. It's not a weak, it is power of the courage. No fear, you see. Fearlessness, I can handle everything or anything, It's out of wisdom, out of courage. So you need an indomitable courage. As mentioned, sometimes not easy, but we just remind ourselves and go forward, and then we can make it. It's this about. Okay, so this side was just mentioned. Now, if you have any questions, so what do you feel? You agree or not agree? It's okay. Yes, Paul?
I was thinking about the idea of happiness and contentment.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we kind of use those interchangeably, but it seems like there might be a difference.
Yes, different,
Explain that
yes.
a little more?
Yes. Happiness is just a result you experience. Just happiness, there's nothing substantial things, When there's a peace, when you feel everything going well, there's a peace. Happiness is the flavor of the peace. And contentment is the practice which brings the happiness. So contentment is the cause. Yes.
So Khenchen, yesterday you said briefly, you were talking about taking refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha.
Yes,
And when you got to the taking refuge in the Sangha, you said something about this is pure conduct and how to make the world a better place.
yeah.
And I'm wondering if you would expand on that a little bit.
In relation to that, I said, when we said take refuge, Buddha is the view, Buddha is the view, and the Dharma is the meditation, and the Sangha is conduct. This will come a lot in the Dharma when you study measure books, what's the view, what's the meditation, what's the conduct, they come together. These are very important for Dharma practice. But there are some, they have view, wonderful views, but they don't have meditation, you see. And sometimes some meditation, but the conduct is wrong conduct. So these three, view, meditation, conduct, they have to come together without contradict each other. They should support each other.
So, as beings in samsara, we, as he demonstrated with a cup of water, we have impure perception. So, the Buddhas have pure perception. So, what is pure perception of, like water?
Pure perception of
the water.
Yeah.
We said, different beings see the water in different ways, and with impure perception. What's the pure perception of?
pure perception.
Emptiness?
Emptiness is one thing, but ambrosia.
That's what the gods perceive. Nectar.
Nectar.
Okay.
Before emptiness. Yes.
So
Please.
I have a question about verse number 4.
Okay.
The happiness. So we're the radiance, natural radiance of Dharmakaya, the proliferation, power of meaning, wisdom, and compassion spontaneously arises. And it says, within the dimension of knowable, the awakened activities are.
Yes.
So why does it say within the dimension of knowable? As though maybe, is there another dimension, a dimension of unknowable? How does one, or what can one know within Dharmakaya? Elaboration for us?
Knowables, which includes everything. That you can know. All the knowledge that exists in the world is knowable. Doesn't matter, everything's so xie in Tibet called xie. Then within the existence of the knowable phenomena, everything that is knowable. So within that, then the Buddha's manifestation manifests according to the needs of the individual. And this is all so Buddha manifests the activities. Sometimes sufferings can be Buddha's activities. You suffer, then you don't know what to do. You just go around, solution, Says, oh dear, go dear. Then you interrupt the Dharma, Then say, oh, I got the solution, So that's suffering causes you to follow the path to free from samsara. That's why it's good to know about the suffering. Did I tell you about the reflections on the suffering is how much benefit is there? Did I mention? You see, in the Bodhi Avtara, there's one verse, very nice, beautiful verse. Sometimes we are reluctant to reflect on the suffering. I don't want to don't talk so much about the suffering. It brings a depression in life. Especially the aging, when you age, you cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot walk, you cannot stand up, you cannot sit down, you can digest, all these things, So please don't talk about this too much. It's too much, It brings just depression, Live my life right now, just peace, I cannot think so much about that, But you see, when you see the suffering real carefully, as a Dhamma practitioner, and not only Dhamma practitioner, we have the solution for the suffering, total solution from the suffering. Because we have all those conditions, possibilities to practice Dharma. So if you want to go into the more about the suffering, understand about the suffering, individuals, whole societies, look at the suffering of the animals, how vulnerable they are. Just for example, I saw in the TV one time, there's a big restaurant. And in that restaurant, there's many kitchens, different places, Some they cook fish, some they cook shrimp, some they cook beef, some they cook vegetables, all the many different stops there. So each stop has a different chef, the cook. So there's a cook, the chef is in front of the stove. And then he has a fish tank, a live fish. The fish is moving in the tank. So somebody ordered fish. So he looked at the order, and then he picked up a fish from the tank. This big of fish, and he brought up. And then there's a stove, there's a pot. They just with oil, hot oil, And then the chef picked the fish and put it in the bowl without killing. Before killing, you cut the stomach and took out all the guts, and they threw it in the pan, which the oil is so hot, it's just making a noise, smoke, And then again fish jumped once more up and they landed. Look at this, how much suffering is there. And for us, it's enjoyment. So you eat fresh fish that is very safe for you. And for our enjoyment, for our own safety, fish, how much the fish has gone through. You see, so much suffering there. But we don't realize how much fish is suffering. But still, when the fish jumps from the pan, we laugh. Oh, something like amazing, something very beautiful, We laugh. So all these things, So if you know how much the fish is going through, where is being in the animal life, the suffering is the heroin. Just like heroin suffering, Like this, if you know different types of sufferings, animals, human beings, there's also some powerful doctors. They're using human beings also like animal, It's just treating, so just experimenting a lot of things. So much nowadays, the business becomes so complex, So like that, just look carefully. So when you know all these details about this, then you say, in the Buddha mentioned, you yourself are not free from suffering. So our arrogance, more or less. When you are not suffering, when you are very successful, doing everything so well, one can become very arrogant, full of pride, So, but when you realize you are no different from the rest of the world, so your arrogance has become less. Go ahead to separate just by the feeling of the sadness. I'm also not different from this. I have to go through as well. Even though right now my life is going so well, but that doesn't mean I will stay this way all the time, So seriously, one. Then from this, you can develop such great compassion, more powerful compassion can manifest from this kind of seeing the suffering. If everything or everyone is happy, you need compassion. You need compassion when you see the suffering. The people, when you see very poor conditioned people there, then it just draws your heart. What I can do. So all the Bodhisattvas, they see the suffering of the sentient beings, and their compassion is so powerful. I cannot enjoy myself, my life is not right. I must do something to help all sentient beings. Because I studied all these things, I practice all these things. I have the ability to help. How I can retire. So this great compassion can give rise by reflecting the suffering of the sentient beings. Sometimes you have heard of generosity. When you saw the suffering of the warrants, just tears beat in his eyes. How I can help. And those, Milarepa said also, Milarepa's hardship of the meditation and the devotion of the sentient beings makes the connection out of compassion. So Buddha and sentient beings make the connection by the compassion. We respect Buddha not because Buddha is so wise, not because Buddha is so successful, but Buddha's concern for the sentient beings, Buddha's compassion to the sentient beings. All his activities are only performed to alleviate sentient beings from suffering. That makes the connection between Buddha and the sentient beings. When somebody displays compassion, we admire. So this individual has a great compassion. So share to me, go ahead to us, cooperate, diligent. That is where all the suffering comes from. where the peace and happiness come from. See? So look at all the sufferings. It's not just their suffering. Their suffering is not without cause, or not from incomplete cause, or not from wrong cause. From this cause, that because of these causes of the non-virtues, then suffering manifests. So you are aware the virtue and non-virtue. The cause of suffering, we are always careful. As mentioned, the three poisons are the cause of suffering. So we always take care of our mental, the three poisons, or the five poisons. Always take care, purify, develop loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. So these wisdoms come from by reflecting at the suffering. So it's good to read the suffering of the century. It moves your heart. It makes your heart more soft. It's not always bad. It's not just only brings depression. Yes.
I think it'll help to show you the picture of the tanka, or I ask the question.
Yeah, you asked the question.
Yes, we could, in what Garvin Rinpoche referred to as the Mahamudra refuge tree.
Okay.
That one.
Oh yeah, there's more details, okay.
Versus the one you introduced to us.
Yeah, that's, yes.
You know, with wonderful
yes,
explanations, been
yes,
so helpful.
Abbreviated, yes.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a little complicated to
Yes.
discern
Yeah.
all the pieces and parts as we're saying in prayer, and doing prostrations and
Yes.
so forth. In the Mahamudra refuge tree, what
Same thing. Yeah.
could you say more?
No, the same thing.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah, same. It's more, we should say, the other one, more elaborated. You see, the same, there's so many lamas, teachers, you know,
Sure.
more elaborated. And this is more concise. You know, the other one. So basically no difference
In view.
in view, but how much you can manage. Okay, you can say Buddha is okay, you know, Lama is okay, Bodhisattva is okay, but concerning the lineage, Lamas, you know, from Vajradhara, Telopa, Naro, Melarava, Kambopa, Pamutrava, Chittasana, all the way here, you know, from 11th, 10th century to the 21st century, you know. Even I don't know some of the names, you know.
It's very clear where the Dharma texts are in the
Yes.
simple version alongside
Yes.
Vajradhara.
Yes.
But here it's not, is it the temples up here, up above Jigten Sumbu? There's little temples.
Yeah.
Is that the Dharma?
No, Vajradhara center, you see.
Yes.
Below,
below.
Jidosumbu is Vajradhara.
Mm-hmm.
That's the center.
Yes.
That's the center.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then you, about all the lineage masters.
And then
Yes.
going all the way to
All the way to
sky.
all the way to the original Vajradhara. Yes. And there's so many of them.
And so we take refuge in the kind root and lineage
Yes,
mountains. We
yes.
take refuge in the deities, the mandalas,
That's right.
the Yidams. We take
Yes.
refuge in all the exalted
Yes.
Buddhas.
Yes.
The exalted ones are on either side.
Yes. Yeah, I know, yes. There's some more abbreviated.
And the Dharma, we
Yeah,
take refuge in.
Dharma is behind all the text you can see. Do you see all the text?
I don't honestly.
You don't know the text.
And the simple one, yes.
Here
but
you understand. There also
This-
your text is behind the Jigdasundam. All the texts are stacked one after
What
another.
looks like little stupas or
Yeah, all those
are
stupas of
texts.
the text, yes.
Ah,
Yes, all the cultures, and Tejas.
that's very helpful.
Yes.
And as we're doing prostrations, we're seeing the whole thing very clearly.
Yes, if you can, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
From the perspective,
Yeah, from your side, yeah.
So what happens if you can't see it clearly?
Oh yeah, as a mission, you just need to just see first root Vajradhana. And as much you can see Theravada also usually well known, you know. Marpa Milarava well known, Kabupa. Then after Chitrasun onwards, not so much well known, you know. They will just say, oh, the lilies here. And then all these Yidams, you can see the Chakasavara is the main. You just see Chakasavara
it's,
principal deities in the fivefold path, Mahamudra, Chakasavara. Then if you have information about this, like Guya Samaja, Vajra, you know, Mahamaya, Buddha, Sajitava, Buddha Kapala, you know, there's so many, it's called 13 marvelous ether deities. That goes. And Dharma is behind the text, you see, behind the root, the lineage, or the Dharma text. And then on the Vajradhara's left, our side right, all the sambhas, bodhisattvas, the 8 bodhisattvas, and then all the Patibuddhas, Arahats, like Shariputra, so forth, you know, and those all the sanghas are there. Yeah. Then on the base, all the Dhamma protectors, and you know, the Mahakala, you know, and Achi is, you know, Achi, very popular. Then others maybe you don't know. I also don't know. That's called Sringma, which is also popular.
Sringma.
Sringma.
7 more.
This comes with the Achi. It's a Milarepa's special. Milarepa's time, she was so powerful, you know, manifesting many different ways, testing Milarepa, you know, so many ways, sometimes sometimes breaking mountains, sometimes breaking hordes of hordes, you know, hordes, hordes, Hords, was that what mean that mean? Hordes of the demons, manifestation to disturb Milarepa, all this thing, you know. So Milarepa then, are just subdued. And then she becomes one of the, in the non-human being, she became one of the top disciples. So they're saying Kambopa was his human disciple, Milarepa's human disciple, which promotes the Dharma teachings. And the Sringma is a non-human being, Milarepa's disciple, which promotes the Dharma teachings. So you see, Milarepa's life stories are just goes without effort. we in our sometimes our lamas we have to advertise so much, and whereas Milarepa we don't have to advertise so much. His life stories are translated simultaneously here, there, everywhere. It's because of heart. So this Makala, Abchi, and Siringma is we visualize because they are not. There are some Dhammapalas, Dhamma protectors, some are unenlightened one. So you can't put inside there. There's a Dalai Lama time, there's a lot of controversy, Yeah, I'm sure you have heard of the group that they had is some very controversial in the Dhamma protectors. So that is it's become it's very controversial because of this enlightened, unenlightened, those things. But this Mahakala, Abchi, Tirikwa, they are free from samsara. Abchi is emanation of Vajra Yogini. There's no question. And Tirikwa, because my Milarepa's teachings, she enlightened. So you look at the Milarepa's some powerful. She requested, says, can you give us the top, now, ultimate meaning of the Dharma teaching that Buddha taught? So Milarepa gave us such a long song. He taught there. Total Mahamudra, these teachings. So she practiced those and enlightened. Okay?
Profound.
Yeah, it is, So those you visualize in the religious field. Don't visualize some you have heard of. There's some individual who will tell you, oh, this Dhamma product is very good, very active, so I like this so much. Put in the refuge. It's not so good without knowing well. No. So take the refuge is very careful. You don't take refuge in anybody. So the confused being cannot help confused individuals. Okay, that's the reason. Okay. When I'm confused, not free from samsara, how I can help you to free from samsara? Yes, Lauren.
Just a question about after we die, and other religions say that we see our ancestors waiting for us, going through the tunnel.
Oh, when people die.
Yeah, the other religions say that, but then there's the bardo for the
Yes.
Buddhists, and I'm wondering, it's different. If you're a Buddhist, you're not gonna see those dead relatives, right? Because they're already reincarnated. They're already reincarnated, right? So I don't understand how you can see they're waiting for you. I'm just wondering, I know it's not that important.
General experience of the dying, I think they will go through the same thing. Same thing.
Everyone's gonna have the
Everything,
same.
But as I mentioned, when you know through the Buddha's wisdom, you talk to know about dying step by step. Then the practitioners has a very good opportunity to recognize all the experiences. So when they say, when the earth element dissolves, what happens? The dying person sort of feels sinking down. And there's sometimes they do raise their hand. And then when the fire element dissolves, feeling of hot, burning. when the water element dissolves, you are taken by the water. When the wind element dissolves, then the strong tornado types of wind comes. Like this. When you prepare all these things, and you say there's nothing is outside. So this, when you are alive, sometimes you just practice this. Just create in your mind. The whole mountain is clasping on you. So then how much is actually happens, how much frightened is there, So then you say, there's nothing's happening outside. It's my imagination. Sometimes like in your meditation, you just meditate, and just huge tornado is coming, destroy you. It is just, this is my imagination. There's nothing outside that destroys you. And sometimes you feel, say, fire is burning, totally burns into you. How much frightened is there, At that moment you meditate. There's nothing is outside. It's my imagination. So like these things that you learn now, then at the time of death, when you're dying, when these things happens, then you say, nothing is happening outside. It's my own experience. It's a delusion. It's going through. I should not be so frightened by this. So back to this, back to just. That's when you practice bodhicitta, when you practice Mahamudra and so forth, those help so much. Okay?
There's an online request. So our old friend Elaine says, please teach us more about emptiness and view. Thank you.
Stay in the beauty.
Fair band.
Excellent.
As I mentioned before, this first you have to adjust, first you reflect on the impermanence. Impermanence is a very good subject. It looks very simple, and actually it's not that simple. You just meditate, everything's passing through, because you see the flower here, so first it's so fresh, beautiful, and you buy, you pay, and then because of every second is changing, day after day, you see it fades, and then it's just you throw it in the trash. It's impermanent. So everything's like that, trust to nature. And from that, gives us some background. Everything's illusion in nature. As I mentioned, we're not making illusion, okay? We're not saying everything's bad, illusion, so we get illusion means something bad, It's not that. Illusion means everything's just manifestation. They come and go. That means it's not real. We see something's real. Oh, I met you last time. You're still so beautiful. You have not changed. You say, no. You see, It means you are changing. Your change means your illusion, Then somebody said, Oh, last time when I met you, you were really looking young, but now you are little old age, you know. This will changed, you know. The illusion in nature is not real. It is changing this illusion in nature. See this. First, these are very important. See. Then slowly, that you see all are nothing but just conditional. Everything depends on causes and conditions. All are just manifestation of the causes and conditions. You see, look at these. So this will help us to free from attachment, aversion, and also understanding itself is called wisdom. That wisdom helps you to understand that how everything is manifested. Then when you have that kind of wisdom, understanding everything is just a manifestation, and everything is just changing. Nothing stands as it is. When you see these things, through that wisdom, then it gives you opportunity not to attach, not to to free from aversion, anger, you see. So like that, then you see everything is like a rainbow, very clear, very precise, but you cannot touch rainbow. You cannot wear the rainbow, you know it. So you have to just look at the rainbow. So you say, oh, beautiful rainbow, but you never try to get the rainbow, no? I see. Because you know it, see. So if you see everything is like a rainbow, you achieve the freedom of the mind. And from there, then you can see the emptiness. So emptiness is not just mere emptiness. Then there's in the heart explanation, the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. There's no separation, you see. And form is no other than emptiness, and emptiness is also no other than form. See, then you can get there. And you get a really good understanding of emptiness. So these all are nothing but natural emptiness. And then we are freely liberated from our delusion. It's not that we're making empty. And you have heard of Buddhists believe everything is empty. Something like Buddhist belief, it's just your belief. It's not a belief. It is how everything functions. You need such wisdom to capture that. Then you achieve the freedom of the mind, means free from all the delusions. The delusions are all the cause of suffering. And we don't want suffering. But to us, the delusions are so powerful. The mental glaciers, afflictions, are so dominating of all our being, and we suffer helplessly. And so then, because that, so all emptiness will help you to free from suffering, and we jump into that, and then we just say, we create emptiness without realizing. And then there's measured in emptiness because it's dualistic emptiness. See, so there's a difference. That doesn't help us. Because when the suffering comes there, so dominating, it dominates our full attention. No matter how much you meditate, emptiness doesn't do anything because your suffering is so real. so painful, it's so relentless, and emptiness is just intellectual. Doesn't touch your own experience, you see, because we've not understood this step by step. So to get the benefit, we have to go through this step by step. First, reflect on all the impermanence. And the dual ornament of liberation explained so carefully. First, gross impermanence. So this whole world, which is solid, so solid, or the rocks are so solid, how it can be dissolved, when it will be finished. So now, when you study Abhidharma, first how the world composed, manifested, and then at the end, this dissolves into the water, or bound at the what's called cosmic fire, bound by the cosmic fire, and then see they mentioned the dual ornament liberation. When it's burned by the fire, it's like your candle is burned. When your candle is burned, don't let little ash it's a hot like that. When the whole this planet is burned by the fire, nothing is left. When the whole this is washed by the water, it's like your soul is dissolved into the water. And when this all destroyed by the tornadoes, the wind, the big dust hit, it's taken by the tornado, destroyed, and the dust is not there, So like they give an example, that it goes, as you see, glimpse of that. Even this planet that we're living, destroyed by this, like this. Then is given more examples. He said, then after that, you look at the country where there's the four seasons, the places there's a four seasons, and the summer is warm, so beautiful, green, flowers. Then look at the winter, it's completely changed. It's snowing, all dry, and then the spring starting blooming, coming up, the greens, flowers. In the fall, it's all decaying, Look at all these, shows it's all changing that. So this is so beautiful, Then you look at, you see, day and night. Daytime you can see so bright, and night totally dark, totally different. See, impermanence, how things are changing. And then you, in your life, you see from when I was this young, now I'm in the 50s, 60s, 70s, how I'm going through in my life. Then from last year to this year, 1 year has passed. From last month, now yes, 1 month is gone. From last week, now 1 week is gone. From this morning, now the day is gone. Like this, you measure, meditate, all is passing through. Then you see, look at that. Then look at the river, it's just going through. Every moment is going through. Never stays there. But in our mind we say, oh, I saw this river last year. But last year what you saw is gone. It's not here. This morning what you saw is gone. Just a few minutes ago what you saw is gone. No, why I say it's similar, it's because you are deluded by the similarities. It's very important. we are deluded by the similarities. That's why mind is changing every moment. Sometimes I feel good, sometimes I feel not good, all this, just look at the mind, how much is changing. See? So that way you can understand about the emptiness. So impermanence is very powerful practice. It helps us to encourage. So sometimes you're so depressed, so you feel so real. My depression is so powerful. I cannot stand it. No, I'm just suicidal. No, but you reflect on the impermanence. My depression is impermanent. Why I should so kind of dominated by this? It will change definitely, because I was not depressed all the time, but this moment. And it will inspire you, see, to uplift from that depression, see. Or when you're so good, life going so well, so oh, my life is perfect, and you are so attached to this, at that time also you feel impermanence. Oh, careful, don't attach too much, it won't last long, then you see that will also help. Free from the suffering. Oh, so impermanence is so beautiful. Dushi Tanjana Muchoji Juba, Metabe Dushi, Buddha said, one of the most effective reception is the impermanence. If you see everything's impermanent, it's all wake up. In the mind, the best mind is the mind of the bodhicitta. From the flower, the best flower is lotus. Yes.
I have a question. In my ordinary, confused, and deluded mind,
Yes.
I can intellectually understand, but not realize that everything in the phenomenal world has no inherent existence.
Yes.
Can you confirm for me that in this incarnation that might be as good as it gets?
Yes.
I mean,
This you have the precious human life.
yes.
And you just have to make effort. And you have the best condition.
I don't
You cannot get better condition than this what you have. Yes.
It seems like so much of this weekend was this fifth step of Nundra, the special Nundra.
Yes.
Is that true? And could it be a reference
Oh,
to
yes,
help understand?
Yeah, understand, yes.
And follow through.
We are following through.
Could you say more about that? The special Nundra.
Now those who are going step by step, then go according to that. Right now, we are, many of us we are here older, I would say, citizen, So we may not have all things go through step by step. So I teach this not as from the model practice. I teach this as everybody, just to inspire Dharma study practice. How others I can teach, but not that kind of piercing in the mind, But this way, when I explain this, I get a lot of opportunity to explain, and people understand easily and inspire. Then you see, I really want to practice Dharma teachings, And those individuals, they can start from the model, from the refuge, Vajrasattva, Mandala, Purya, so forth and all. They can do that. It's individual choice. But at least, if we can practice bodhicitta, as we did, as I mentioned this morning, this recite in front of the and also if you can do prostration, memorize this, and could do prostration was also very good for your also physical exercise as well.
I also wanted to just give a personal heartfelt sharing of Philip, who you mentioned on Friday night. In 1993, after you came and taught some of us in the room and introduced us to the path and shortly thereafter we started practicing the refuge, Vajrasattva. I also have some gray hair. But Philip so kindly saw me struggling to count while doing frustrations and visualizing, bringing it all together. He gave me my first mala in that moment.
Wow.
It was so precious. It was so sweet. And it's
inspiring.
yes. I'm very thankful to you.
Yes, very good. That's called Visakha. Visakha. Help each other. Yeah.
So there's some more online stuff.
Yes, what is that?
Okay, so Elaine has many more questions, but I would like to give Steve a chance, who's also online, and he asks, what came first, Buddhas or sentient beings?
Buddha's sentient beings, they come from beginningless time. Because if you ask when the space started,
Right.
first you ask that space, when the space is started, you can imagine scientifically what they can say.
Nothing.
See, same thing, When the space will be vanished, the space, there's nothing to vanish,
Yeah, right.
You see. So usually I say, which came first, egg or chicken? You see, so Buddha said chicken, and sentient beings the egg, So which came first?
Okay, I think.
And these are not so important. It doesn't make difference,
Right.
Whether you know or don't know, it doesn't make difference. It's just your in your mind, Yes, what is other?
Okay, so I was asking her, do you want me to ask all these questions? But no. So this is what Elaine asks, so while we are caring for a person who is an impermanent, changing form,
Yeah.
while remembering that, we care for them. And work then on not being attached, question mark?
No, attached?
Yeah, and then we work on not being attached,
Yeah.
okay? And we are in impermanent changing form, so then we get to be compassionate for all of us?
Yes.
Okay, there you have it, Elaine.
Self-answered.
She said, got it, with exclamation.
Yeah. Self-answered question.
Okay, there's one more, but
Oh,
do
okay.
people in the room have questions? Okay. Oh, I think she's good. She said, I got it, compassion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Just develop compassion.
there you go.
Yes. That's it.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So the process of dying that you were talking about,
Dying. Okay.
and the process of going through and the burning and the potential fear, is that the same for small children?
Children, yeah.
Babies.
Children who are dying,
Yes,
yes.
same process.
Yeah, everybody go through, some are maybe more details, some are more very quickly, very fast, Like, just example for insects, small insects, they die so fast, so they go through so fast. But they have a glimpse of experience at end, So just touch the Buddha nature, the core.
Okay, so she understands it's compassion.
Okay.
Then does compassion arise from the mind?
Yes.
There you have it, Elaine.
You got all.
You got it. She's like,
Yes.
got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I wanna bounce off of your question with so if we have, we know of people who are dying and we've been practicing our loving kindness, and can that help the dying process for others? When we can't take on their karma, but how can we help?
No, you cannot take their karma on you, But if you have you study those more thoroughly, dying, death and dying, all those. There's a special teachings in the Bardo, In the Bardo teaching, say they have 3 Bardos. Chika Bardo. Bardo at the time of death, and then Bardo of the Dhamma, and then Siddha Bardo, Dhamma of the Bardo of the existence. So this is what we told the person, Bardo at the time of death. So I briefly mentioned experiencing these the 4 elements, experiencing dissolving. So those people who are dying slow, not accident, any other things who die just naturally. So they go through those. And the way in the past, in ancient times, mostly like that. There's not so much accidents, only few. Now there's so many accidents. So we don't know, so fast. So anyhow, you study the details, commentaries on the part of teachings, express all details of those. Study all these yourself, get understand. Then, say, the dying person, mostly say, let die peacefully.
What happened? I think the microphone ran out of power. How about this new one?
Okay.
It died, yeah.
Die. It's also dead.
It's also dead?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's better.
It's just quiet.
Okay, so see, let that person die peacefully. Don't give now lot of informations like related to the attachment, related to the anger, hatred, all this, no benefit at all, or too late. So remind, if the person is a practitioner, remind loving kindness, remind compassion, remind bodhicitta, remind, say, taking refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and remind this emptiness if the practitioner, So those things are good information to remind, and then let die peacefully. That's the best choice.
So comfortable.
Yeah.
And for, in the case of a child that has not had a chance to take
Yeah.
or learn these things.
No.
If
So let
we-
die peacefully.
So comfort and peace.
Yeah, just
And our mind is peaceful and
yeah.
because of the
Keep your
connection.
mind,
That might
natural bodhicitta.
Okay.
So keep your mind, that really affects, when you have loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, that really feels it really does. Because if somebody sees the Buddha, even though they don't know who's Buddha, they just feel. So this is something special. Who are you? They ask. So it's very, very important. So these things. Yes.
So if, say I practice Pawab once a month, and then I have to take morphine, the drug morphine, that's what happened to my mother. And will you still be able to affect you coming out of your crown if you're on the heavy drug?
Yeah, if you're asking if you do power
Yeah,
to others.
For instance, if you have some cancer or something and they give you morphine and you practice POA, will you still be able to come out?
You can do power. It won't hurt.
It won't hurt.
It won't hurt.
Anything helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just, as you feel, if it is, we should say, convenient, if it is convenient, you feel, you do it, it's good, it may help, yeah, it won't hurt. Yes.
Would there be a simple, elegant way to acknowledge Cliff and Philip's passing as we dedicate the merit today?
Yeah, sure. You dedicate the mention all sentient beings, not only them, not only me, not only some, to include every sentient beings as we have this prayer, I and may all sentient beings achieve enlightenment by this virtue, you see. And then we have also done some dedication prayers. All the other sentient beings, including those who hate me, the obstacles who harm me, all this may achieve happiness, free from suffering, and should be attained enlightenment. Okay? It's very cosmological, highly developed mind, inclusive. So everyone is included within the all sentient beings. You see, some of my book has this dedication prayers. Maybe in the complete guide to Buddhist path. You do know that book? The complete guide to Buddhist path. In there, I think I included complete dedication prayers there.
I think we have a copy of
Do
that.
we have that copy?
Somebody bought it.
Complete guide to Buddhist path.
So
Your copy, show me. You don't have.
We don't have, there was a copy back here, but I think somebody bought it.
Somebody. Maybe not here. I don't think this is where Ali copies.
Which dedication prayer?
And here we don't have. This is the copy that I'll tell you. Calling to the Lama from afar. If you know this. It's included a lot of Chittosom's short life stories and some of his bhajan songs. Rachel has this copy.
So
Okay.
we have one more question online.
Oh, what they will get.
It's kind of a big question, so I don't know if there's enough time.
Maybe I cannot handle it. Let's see. Yes, go ahead.
It's from Geraldine, and she asks, what is the best way to eliminate all the past karma and causes of rebirth? The Dzogchen meditation, Trekcho, or cutting through, or Vajrasattva practice? Is it possible to eliminate all the past karma and causes of rebirth? Thank you so much, Rinpoche La, for your precious teaching.
Practice of loving kindness,
There you have it.
compassion.
Bodhicitta.
If you practice this, then it's just a matter of time. We take care. Not only purifying all the karmas of the past, eventually you will become Buddha. Okay, now time is running out. Maybe we short dedicated prayers. What do you pray you have?
Page 38 is a short dedication.
Okay, 38. Very good, then you go all the way. First, please take a deep breath, inhale. And exhale all the stress. And then just reflect this weekend. Those teachings that we went through. Remind ourselves, how much benefit we received, reminding many of those teachings you have received before, but reminding how it's beneficial. And then bring it into your heart. And especially repeatedly, our focus to eliminate all mental afflictions. Always pay attention on that. Purify all mental afflictions. Because if you could do this, then our life will be much better. Peace. Then happiness is there. Don't look for happiness. It's there. So to do this, the reflection on the loving kindness, compassion, teaching. Just practice so simple, easy, not complicated. And there's many layers you can do. Just transform the beginning. Just like that. And thank you so much. And please, so just say dedication or prayers in English.
In English, the short dedication, please. By this virtue, may I achieve the all-knowing state, and may all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara, confusion, the cause of suffering. The teachings of the great Drinkupa, Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, meditation, until the end of samsara.
Then this last page. For the dedication
Okay, yeah, page 44.
This is more complete one. It's missing, but we say this is good.
Okay. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogins, yoginis, and dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all with my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, arrogance, jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong views. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the body.
Thank you, everybody.